Welcome to the Chmil wedding live stream. I'm your host, Sarah. Stay tuned. Oh, you got 6 watchers. Shout out. Oh, Tammy K is Miss Tammy. Hi, Miss Tammy. Here are some of the acclaimed guests of the Chmil wedding here. Chandler Wilson, OKC BFF, Chandler Wilson Domingo. Sorry, I'm still not good at that. And Murph.
Oh, howdy.
Oh, howdy, Murph. Kelsey's beloved granddad. We love Murph.
We're excited for the day.
He's happy to be here. The mountain air has got him feeling fresh and froggy. So.
Yeah,
Spring.
it's true.
Oh. There we are.
Hello,
so
hi.
The West Coast Collarmans, I'm not sure.
What does that mean? Or anyone want to give a shout out to Joe?
Hi, everybody.
Ivan.
Lovely weather here today, and I'm sure it's equally beautiful back in Oklahoma, where the original, version of the wedding. No.
We don't talk about that. Oh, go away. Scram. Here is a pile of wood, and then, oh, acutums. Here's some, oh, I hear tears. Uh-oh. Beautiful centerpieces that Kelsey made by hand. Lovely home. Grantalicious Duff. Grantalicious Duff. Grantalicious Duff. Okay, Murph is getting comfy inside the dining situation. This looks like where the bride and groom will be enjoying their delicious meal this evening. It's quite the setup. Feels like a castle in here.
Andy. Don't fall in.
Good boy.
celebrate the beautiful bond between Kelsey and Dave. Dave and Kelsey would like to thank you all for being flexible and joining them on this special day here in Taos. Dave wants to extend a special thank you to his Nana. She is the reason that Dave was drawn to Taos. And Kelsey would like to extend a special thank you to her grandpa. He's the reason that her standards for men are so high. Instead of reading vows to each other, Kelsey and Dave shared letters they wrote for each other with me and asked me to include them in the ceremony. I believe that they did this so that they didn't have to cry while reading them. Instead, it will be my job to ugly cry while sharing their feelings. Very likely to happen. Kelsey left a note for me as well in one of her letters, and it said, "Hey Max,
This is about as close as I can get without losing Wi-Fi signal, guys. I'm sorry.
Cry, laugh, which is the vibe for the day. We trust you completely to officiate the beginning of our marriage adventure and can't wait to party together. So while I'm rambling on about tomatoes, you should know that she did give me approval." Chapter 1. Tomatoes. A good tomato sauce doesn't take much. The problem is finding good tomatoes. If you can't buy them, you have to grow them yourself, and it's a pain in the ass. Constant tending, watering, weeding, trimming, and watching. But now if you're patient, you can grow something that is so sweet that it explodes with the flavor of summer. Now a tomato sauce lacks luster on its own, but if you pair the taste of summer with the right partner, you create something magical. It just takes a few ingredients and a little patience to create a perfectly delicate, tender dough with just the right height. When you combine the two, the joy that they create is magical. I make fresh tomato pasta sauce only a few times every summer, and I rarely invite anybody to enjoy it. Not out of selfishness, because I'm terrible at planning, and nobody likes last-minute invites. Tomatoes have to be at their peak ripeness, and I can't expect anybody to make plans around this questionable growing technique. Dave had just moved back to Taos, and to my surprise, I invited him to pasta night. It was a romantic dinner between guitar player and drummer. I had known Dave for a few years, and when he arrived that night, he was downright giddy. He was espousing about a chance encounter with the beautiful blonde he had just met. From Dave's letter to Kelsey, I believe that as human beings, we choose to incarnate over many lifetimes on Earth. And I believe in soulmate recognition, which is when two souls who have incarnated many lifetimes together recognize each other in other lifetimes. When we first saw one another at Aspens, I immediately knew that you were special in a way that I could only define as soulmate recognition. After seeing Dave's excitement that night, I suggested that he invite his new friend over to our romantic pasta dinner. It does, after all, only happen a few times during the summer, and invites are not shared liberally. The world traveler and adventurer that she is, Kelsey, didn't seem nearly as shocked or scared as a single woman should be when she is randomly invited to pasta night with strangers after a brief conversation. She had told Dave that she was going to watch the Ruth Bader Ginsburg trilogy so that she would sound intellectual. But instead, she had to sneak out of Crazy Rich Asians. Needless to say, she arrived at our romantic dinner. I'm covered in flour, frantically making pasta for our new friend. Dave is so nervous he can't speak. Kelsey is answering a constant barrage of my questions. Kelsey did admit that she was a little creeped out by the invite, and the long, dark driveway didn't help, but she took a leap of faith based on her intuition. I knew Dave well enough to know that he was already enamored. From Dave to Kelsey. As we got to know each other over the subsequent days and months, that innate feeling I felt when we first met was affirmed over and over as I got to know just how special you are. From the love you share for your friends and family to the many talents you possess in a variety of disciplines, I am constantly amazed by the depth and breadth of your knowledge, wisdom, and beauty. It was just a few days after our delightful meal that Kelsey returned for dinner with Dave and left a bowl of perfectly made bow tie pasta in my kitchen for me. And I preemptively told Dave that he should probably marry. I don't mean to put this in the perspective of me or take of chance encounters, and I do believe that a little positive encouragement goes a long way. And it's been an honor to be a little bit of positive encouragement with the two of you. Chapter 2, Resonance. Love can be loud. It can scream at the top of its lungs running through the streets. Love can be quiet, simmering just below the surface. Love can be stored in the bottom of a drawer, slid to the back of a shelf, or tucked into a book, only to fall out of the pages as an unexpected reminder. Love can be worn on a sleeve, and it can be hidden from view, only to be revealed in the quiet comfort of your partner. Your love is uniquely yours, and you both wear it very well. From Kelsey's letter to Dave. There were so many directions in which I could go on about how much you mean to me. Your heart, your voice, your smile, your butt. And it took me a while to begin. In our first 3 years together, I've gotten to be a private audience to your diabolical silliness, your unexpected slapstick comedy, your bottomless trove of vaudevillian accents and impersonations, as well as your tenderness, your devotion to our doggies, your readiness to wrap me in a hug when I'm beside myself with stress, your aversion to killing pests, including the mice from our shed, which you released into a field down the street so that they could have a second chance. You believe in the best parts of people, and you have a heart big enough for everyone you meet, great and small. Your generosity is unrivaled, and your loyalty to family and friends is a thing of beauty. When I'm caught up in the details, you remind me of the grand, full picture of things. Both Dave and Kelsey were fresh to Taos when they met. Our chance encounter over a shared interest in music was the start of something wonderful. Music speaks from the soul, and we are both rock stars and creators. From Dave to Kelsey. It wasn't long after we met that I remember hearing you sing. Your voice hitting like a bolt of lightning. I remember you sharing pictures of steamed buns you made on your trip back to Oklahoma with your dad, and the first few meals you made for me when we started dating. It was apparent that you were talented in all facets of life, and that you shared a selfless love for your family that resonated with me at a very deep level. I knew you were the one that I wanted to dedicate my life to, start a family with, and share the rest of my days with. From Kelsey to Dave. You are my crush, my confidant, my rock star, and refuge all at once. You shared about the toughest stretches of your life, which took all of your strength, patience, and self-forgiveness to weather. I am so grateful for the perseverance that you delivered through our uncertainty to this most delicious phase of our life, when we can cherish ourselves, our success together. That every step and path I have walked in this life, and the ones before it, has brought us together in this greatest solace I have ever known in the sometimes unfathomable tumult of life on earth. Chapter 3. Everything that's sweet on earth will stumble as it starts. The last year and a half revealed many things. The way we moved through the world changed. The way we saw each other changed. The way we shared our lives changed. Everyone was tested in a grand global shakeup. From Dave to Kelsey. After we got to know one another and our relationship grew, we were able to overcome challenges and hurdles that all relationships go through. It was during the last 2 years when our relationship strengthened into an unbreakable bond that we collectively shared. It was during this time of growth that we were able to fully actualize the fact that we are a team, always having each other's back, and striving to understand one another's point of view, especially in times of difference. It is exciting to think of our future together, with this deep love and appreciation that we share for one another, and knowing that no matter what, you'll support me, and I the same for you. If you can survive spending 24 hours a day together for most of the year, weathering a pandemic, working from home, with 2 dogs named after common dinner meats, you can probably survive anything, if you take the time to hear each other. Dave and Kelsey did not share these letters with each other beforehand, so I tried to put them together in an order where they're sharing similar thoughts, because I feel like you guys are cut from the same cloth. From Kelsey to Dave. You and I both have our angles and corners that are less than glamorous. But I bring up these truths to say this. I love and accept every part of you. Every chip realization doesn't change the fact that you feel like home. When we fight, you let me know that you want to make it right just as much as I do. When we disagree, you try to see my side of things just as I try to see yours. And when that doesn't work, we fall back on the reality that no matter if dinner was too greasy, or neither of us wants to empty the dishwasher, or when work pulls us so far away from contentment, we love each other. Let me make this blanket statement in relation to every disagreement we will ever have. I love you. This sucks right now, but we will figure it out. I ask that you remember that shared realization. Be patient. Take the time to sit and talk with open minds, and you will remember why you're both standing here. Just like Dave's beautiful, long, luxurious locks of pandemic hair, take the slow, quiet times and let your love grow. Chapter 4, Lead with Love. I have chosen a few aspects of their letters that felt very inappropriate for me to read. And I'm going to ask them to read these final words to each other. We're going to begin with Kelsey. You both have. Yes, Kelsey goes first.
I love you with all my heart, and will support and cherish you for the rest of my days here on earth. I know that we'll always be together in this realm and in others, through this life, and past lives, and future ones as well. You're my soulmate, and I'm so glad we found one another in the most beautiful place on earth, in Taos, New Mexico. I love you with all my heart, now and forever. And then you read this one, please.
All that being said, I will never accept the way you like your broccoli cooked. It's a little much. But I love you. I'll make the broccoli
Broccoli mush. True love. Our lives often resonate around the dinner table. A delicious meal, good conversation, and a little music are key ingredients to a joyful life. Having shared many meals with Dave and Kelsey, I know that their tables will always be full, because they will always remain their home, and their hearts are full. Chapter 5, Let's do this thing. Before the vows, Dave and Kelsey asked me to share a non-denominational blessing that they use every day that was passed on to Dave. You can experience it however you would like. Divine Spirit of our higher selves, instantly white light this union. Let it nourish our souls and give Dave and Kelsey the strength to go forth and do great things together. We ordain this under grace. Thanks. Dave, please repeat after me. I, Dave Chmil, take you, Kelsey Swalwell, as my lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold you from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and health, until death do us part. Now, place this ring as a symbol of your continued love and appreciation of Kelsey. Let's try this ring.
It's ring time. Ring time, everybody.
Kelsey, repeat after me. I, Kelsey Swalwell, take you, Dave Chmil,
I, Kelsey Swalwell, take you, Dave Chmil,
as my lawfully wedded husband,
lawfully wedded
to have and to hold from this day forward,
to have and to hold from this day forward,
for better, for worse,
for better, for worse,
for richer, for poorer,
for richer, for poorer,
in sickness and health,
in sickness and health,
until death do us part.
death do us part.
Now place this ring as a symbol of your continued love and appreciation of Dave. Dave, do you accept Kelsey as your wife for as long as you both shall live? Kelsey, do you accept Dave as your husband for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
We all now pronounce you husband and wife.
Aunt.
You don't want to carry your chair, the man of honor.
Kelsey Chmil. Kelsey Chmil. Sarah, TMZ. How do you feel after... Get those cameras out of my face. I just want to get a good shot of the new couple. Oh, and not fall over down the mountain. Beautiful. Oh my God. Grant. How do you feel? How do you feel about what just happened?
I'm about to collapse.
You're about to collapse.
Nervousness, stress.
Mama, what do you have to say about what just happened?
I couldn't be happy.
There we go.
Best day in the world.
This is the best day in the world. She looks like Princess Diana, but better. I will tune in later if requested, so just keep an eye on your... Just... Thanks for those final words, Grant. Whoops, sorry. Alright, now we're going. This is speech time, everybody.
Attention. Sibilance. All right. Speech. Hi. Beautiful day. You guys look wonderful.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm not prepared. Just give me a moment. Dave and Kelsey. My name is Tara. I am Dave's sister. It is an absolute treat to stand up here and share a few words on Dave and Kelsey's day. Morning. Where's the page? I actually got somewhere. And because it's a special day, I promise I'll be on my best behavior, Dave. I promise I won't share any embarrassing stories about you with Kelsey or your family. But before I go any further, you didn't mention the time I beat you up with a plastic golf club, right?
Oh, that was awesome.
When was that?
I'll tell you later.
A long time ago, and I was younger than Uncle Dave, obviously, because I'm the younger sister, but it took place in front of like practically the whole neighborhood. How old was I? 7 or 8? When you were 11, I seriously whooped your butt. Okay, what was it saying? Oh yes, special day, best behavior, no problem. Okay, so Dave is my older brother. Growing up, he was, like Andrew, one of my idols. Allow me to share a few reasons why I admire Dave so much. He has a terrific sense of humor. Of course, Kelsey alluded to that at the ceremony. He can do spot-on character impersonations like Borat. For those of us who may not have known, he has serious athletic prowess. Top-notch musical talent, which we definitely know. But the most distinguishable trait about Dave is his discipline, to me. As we all know, Dave is a gifted guitarist. Just ask him to play Joe Satriani, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, or virtually any genre, and Dave would nail it. I continue to brag about how gifted Dave is in music, but I could take all night. So what I'll do is I'll sum it up here. In high school, Dave played a solo with his teeth to Johnny Be Good, Battle of the Bands. So, pretty awesome. This made Dave famous. I knew he was good, but hot darn, this certainly pushed him up a notch. So for each successive school year, I just introduced myself to other kids as Dave's younger sister. That was it. I was royalty.
That's what I did sometimes. I did it on my softball.
Good. Must be a cancer thing. In addition to his music, he played a number of sports, most notably football and wrestling. In football, he was the tailback. Like you were a tailback? Maybe like a running back, but I called it a tailback, I don't know. And while he was the less bulkier guys out there, he had serious swagger and could juke out the best of them with ease. Then there was wrestling, pure stud. Or, as Dad would say, poetry in motion.
Hold it together.
His workouts were brutal. On top of having to starve himself to make weight, he would also need to run several miles in a garbage bag. His discipline and tenacity placed him as a top contender in his weight class. And I distinctly remember this because he weighed less than I did in high school. Jokes aside, when Dave stepped into the mat, he was all business. He was a tactician. Every move was planned to set his opponent up for failure. I'd say the highlight of his career was when he broke some kid's arm at a tournament. Yeah. I love it. Keep it going.
Not intentional.
Someone's a heckler.
Looking back, it was clear that Dave's discipline and performance in athletics affected the course of my life. It fueled my desire to become an athlete and play lacrosse at the collegiate level. So, spoiler alert. Now, I'd like to turn my attention to the other half of this dynamic duo. Kelsey. First, I need to set the stage. Picture it, Taos, 2019. Well, the girls reference.
I know.
Dave has since settled here in Taos and with his buddy Max. And there was this idea to throw a surprise party for our Nona's 82nd birthday. I think it was 82nd. Right here in Taos. And the surprise trip included some family from Michigan, myself, my mom, my 9-month-old daughter, June. And before the trip, I learned that Dave was seeing this special someone. They had been dating for several months, and I was told she was an amazing chef. She could sew and craft, she could sing, play instruments, she works as a dietitian at the hospital. I'm like, geez, God, the list goes on. What could this girl do? I couldn't wait to meet her. As if Kelsey couldn't be any blinking cooler, she excitedly helps to play along with Dave to take them to dinner instead of this Airbnb. The story was that his boss was staying in town and the boss wanted Dave to scope out this Airbnb that we happened to stay at. When they arrived, each person came from around the corner to surprise Nana. Kelsey caught this whole surprise on camera from start to finish. And to top it off, the two of them serenaded us one night after dinner at where Max and Dave live. Talk about a home run introduction. This is the first time I met her. Needless to say, this trip was one for the books, and it was a great way for Dave to introduce her to the family. Kelsey, even though we have technically known each other for a couple of years, I can honestly say it has felt like quite the opposite. I feel proud and grateful to know that you make my big brother Dave genuinely happy. And I can see he does the same for you. So, now that we're sisters, I'd like you to know that I've got your back. Which means, if he ever gives you a hard time, don't forget the little detail I shared earlier about that Happy Gilmore moment I had. For the record, I probably still weigh more than him. So, toast to the couple. And now I'm going to hand the microphone over to Joe.
Woo woo!
Oh, only wants to talk?
Joe, come on, front and center. Show us what you got, baby.
And Joe's going to wing this. I'm like, I got it.
Thank you, Tara. First of all, thank you for inviting me to speak. I am, however, going to toast. So this is in the form of a toast. When she asked me to give the father of the bride speech, I immediately came up with a list of about 147 things to talk about. So, let's start now. But you can see a difference in note-taking, too. This is from a cup of coffee. Yes. I narrowed the list from 147 down to just 3 goals to talk about tonight. And the first one is I just want to make sure that we appreciate and relish all the love that's in this room tonight. It's a great combination of families. And what an exciting thing in the course of our human lives and our journeys for 2 random, different families coming together and meshing really well. And
I feel good.
let's see, was that Andy?
No, it's Michelle on the red.
Another observation that I had in the form of gratitude is there's some mystery involved in the combination of these families has somehow made both families even more handsome and attractive. So, good work. Give yourselves a round of applause. My second goal was to come up with as many humiliating and embarrassing and full closure moments as I could come up with as Kelsey's father. And it was not difficult. But those I will keep to myself because it was really a difficult task to come up with anything truly embarrassing that Kelsey has done. I've been proud of this young lady from the very moment she was born, and probably a little bit before that too. But and the thing that strikes me about this woman right here is that she's exactly the same now with you guys here, with the people that she works with everybody she meets. She is a genuine article and has been that way from day one. And that's because she's got character, and she lives and now has expanded with another family, her own character. And as we all know, we pick up, or at least we hope to, the character that's in each of us as individuals is hopefully, thank you, pictures are comprised of all the traits that we admire and love, and the people who we admire and love in our lives. And both of these guys are a great example because they have so many people, so many nice traits to pull from and to incorporate into their own lives. But I could come up with things like having to pick Kelsey up out of a bar she was not old enough to be in. Or I could mention how she was probably 3, running down the hall purposefully and vocally, crazily, only to face plant and get 3 stitches on her chin. That was a classic. And I remember really fondly when boyfriend problems could be taken care of by picking her up from school and going and having a cup or a glass of boba tea or bubble tea. I don't know if you're all familiar with. In the Asian community, there's a tea that has chewable bits in it. So it's like eating and drinking at the same time. And I just remembered this morning the particular boyfriend at the time. I knew it started with an A, but I didn't come up with
I know who it is.
As her father, you have been a wonderful child. And you've made my life so much easier just by being a great kid. And you've made everybody's lives better. And the combination of you and Dave is a wonderful combination. And Dave made a great impression from the very beginning.
Hi, Chicky.
And not just because I enjoy playing guitars with him, which I do. I really, it's like having an obligatory guitar partner. The third thing I wanted to do was offer a semblance of advice. But the only thing I can really tell you are the things that I admire that are part of your life too. And one of them, this is a Mark and Teresa Honer story. And I think that if we do make our own characters out of the things we love about everybody else, a story that Mark and Teresa Honer are old friends of Kelsey's grandpa, my father. Let's give a round of applause.
Let's get the show on the road, Joe.
My dad. And with her brother Grant, we now have 3 generations. Together. But Teresa, who's been married for many years and is beginning to have a senior moment or 2 with her husband, experienced a moment in their house recently where they were putting away dishes, and I don't remember what
Teresa, are you watching?
Conversation was. It's a plate. They both had a combined senior moment where neither one of them could recall the name of a plate. And they had a choice, and they knew it, and they knew they were sharing
This is
that
for you,
moment.
Teresa.
And they had a choice, and they looked at each other, and they laughed. They laughed at the fact that they were losing their And I thought, and we know them, and they're some of the most solid people you'll ever meet, are certainly a part of Kelsey's life. And I thought, how lucky. And that's what leads me to you guys. And it expands on what Max was saying in your in the ceremony earlier. What's really awesome and that is something to truly value about you guys is that you found each other. And there's no trickery involved. There's some international travel involved. But you guys found each other straight up, clean and clear, and decided to combine these families. And it was not an easy task. So, to conclude, I just want you to know that I think you are lucky as well. And if you can have a moment years down where your choice is to chuckle at your combined misfortunes, then you're doing something. I love you guys very much. And This is from everybody back in the 405 in Oklahoma City. Everyone is invited back where the original site of the wedding would be.
They're watching.
At some point. Hello, And finally, and this is for your grandmother Swalwell, and if you knew my mother, you would know that about 98% of Kelsey comes from her grandmother's family. We had a family tradition when we had our family reunions when I was little and when I was growing up, and then when Kelsey and Grant were little too. When we were at a restaurant or when we were on a tour bus or where we were paddling rafts down a river together as a family, when we really enjoyed something, we said, let's give it one of these. And for years, we would give things these, and we would be those people in a restaurant. We suddenly go, let's give it one of these.
You get it. I don't get it. I'll tell you later.
On behalf of everybody on the Swalwell side of the family, let's give them one of these. Kelsey and Dave.
All right.
Good job.
Can we get a more dignified mic?
This is what Santa Fe Target had.
Sometimes I feel like I'm an alien trying to assimilate into human culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like your wedding photographer.
You're like, I'm not here. But I am. Pay attention.
We're going to talk some more in front of you.
Yay!
First round. We will never be able to thank all of you. We'll never be able to thank you enough for being so flexible to kind of switch the whole plan and state and everything. To make the travel up this road, this very steep, mysterious road. So I'm going to say some individual thanks, but I just want everybody here to know that you are our top 30 favorite people in the entire world. Top 30! And we would never have done this.
Can't stop it now.
Yeah, everybody, thank you so much for making the effort to come out. It means the world to us. It really does. And with everything that's going on in the world over the last year, we all know how important it is to get together like this. So we really appreciate all the love. We're sending it right back to you. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'll be quick because there's so thank you so much. You were our matchmaker. This probably would not have worked out without you. So thanks for being the producer. For this rom-com.
Go Max!
And his father, Johnny, heard on the
Mr. Stradivarius.
fiddle. The fiddle earlier.
A little crossover.
Perfect. He's a multitasker. For the music, thank you, Bart and Tasha, from our rehearsal dinner last night.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you. Trish and Ann for manning the food and getting our lasagna hot. And Ann again for this hair. And just being the coolest mother-in-law any girl could ever want. To John for kind of being maitre d' there, just on the fly for this dinner.
Well done.
Thank you, Sarah Sharp, for live streaming. And all of our families, thank you all so much.
And Drew for transport.
Drew really had to move some people around.
Mr. Euchre?
Tara for countless things, but for standing up today and giving that great speech on top of being an awesome mom. Vince and Carmen for sponsoring our cake, and Sarah Whirling for making the cake. And I'm almost done here, but a second shout out to Sarah for the countless hours she spent over at our house doing macrame and cutting wine bottles and arranging flowers and contributing to everything you see here today. I only have 2 more.
It was so fun.
Okay, 2 more. To my brother, Grant. Or shut up. We really didn't know we were going to make it. I'm finding it for you last one. I love you. You're such a sport. And to my, finally to my mom, who got here on Monday, and I won't pretend that I wasn't a little panicked about figuring out stuff to do with all that time, but who has been putting in so much work from the second she got here. She got the wine, she got the apps, she picked up the dress, she did everything she possibly could to make this happen. So thank you, Mom. We will let you eat cake. That'll make this. We do want you to eat cake and admire Sarah for making it, and stay as long as you want. Have the best time.
First dance!
And know that we love you so much. We haven't thought about our first dance at all. We don't even know where it's gonna be. We're gonna figure it out. Oh, good. PSA. There's a lot of stuff here that you can take. This glassware with the emblem. Everybody, please take one with you. The plastic cups with print on every. Yes, model 1 with Venom. The glassware with plasticware, courtesy of my mom. The name card holders that have your names on them can be taken and used as photo holders. And the blankets in the backyard, if you need some extra throws. I got it.
Oh, dibs.
Okay? All right. So if you would like everybody who would like cake to please make their way to the kitchen and serve yourself. I'll go cut it for you first if you want it. But mostly.
No, you gotta cut it.
Aren't you also supposed to?
And I'll bet that's an account.
Wait, we can bring it up there. We'll bring it up there.